Hey guys, it's Nate from PlayYourCourt.com, filming from the classroom today, also known as my office here at home. So I apologize for any lighting issues or reflecting. Do my best. If you have some lighting tips, feel free to leave them. Definitely missing our videographer, Emily, right now. All right, so we are going to try to provide as much content as we possibly can here at PlayYourCourt. We know these are some really challenging times for a lot of us, and we don't have access to the tennis court to be working on our games, but doesn't mean that we can't keep growing our games. There's so many different resources between tennis specific fitness, mental strength, mental toughness, strategy, working through technique. There's still ways that we can grow our game, and we want you to have that ability, because now more than ever, it's really important to feel that we're growing and we're keeping to some kind of routine, and tennis is such a big part of a lot of our lives. All right, so today, what are we talking about? We've had so many requests for doubles, right? Doubles content, and this strategy board is perfect for strategy, and that is what we're going to be talking today, specifically how to beat the dreaded lobber. That's right. All right, so why do we talk about the lobber so much? In recreational doubles, the lobber can give us so many problems, and part of it is a fundamental problem that we have been taught that the party's at the net. Got to get to the net. All right, we understand this is where we want to be. We want to isolate this person, right, and play the high percentage points with the volleys and be aggressive. But here's the issue with the lobber. They love this. All right, so this doesn't work. All right, so then we're told, got to improve our swing volleys. We've got to improve those transition volleys. Right? We got to push our way in, right? And that's great, and that's why you don't see it at a very high level. Why do we not see lobbers at the ATP, WTA? Because their swing volleys and their overheads are really good. All right, so it essentially eradicates them. And it doesn't mean that we see phenomenal lobs. I mean, watch Feliciano Lopez. That dude lobs all the time, especially off the backhand. I'm talking about being classified as a lobber. All right, so what we're talking about today is just one strategy to end it once and for all. All right, and we're talking about push, stretches, and the pull. All right, and this one shot, this one play will have the lobber dreading playing you. All right, so let's jump in. Let's talk about what these different shots are. We're talking about, because the goal is still about moving in, but we're going to talk about how we move in. All right, so we get the short ball. In the push, this is any time we're hitting a ball that is pushing our opponent backwards, okay? And so this would be in a really aggressive space here. Anything around here, that's a great push. In fact, it's such a good push that the lobber's not going to have a lot of time to back up and hit a topspin lob. They're going to be forced to try to pop the ball up, all right? And that's going to be tough to do, especially with a lot of pace or a lot of RPMs, a lot of spin. Why isn't this the best play, though? Because it is really difficult to consistently hit the ball in this back part of the court. All right, so that push doesn't necessarily work. What ends up happening more times than not is that we hit the ball arbitrarily somewhere around here. All right, maybe a little bit back here as well. All right, and so why do I say arbitrarily? Because the biggest issue we have against the lobber is that we get a short ball. We know we got to go in. We know we're going to go in and we're going to hover. But we hit it and we go, I'm going to the net. I'm going to attack, but I don't want to miss. Right? There's not a lot of thought to it. So if you don't know where you're hitting it, how could you possibly know where the ball is coming back? All right, so that's a big no-no. All right, so now let's talk about what the next shot is. What else? We covered the push. That doesn't seem like it's necessarily the best option, so we're going to talk about the stretch. All right, and the stretch is any time we make our opponent move north and south, right? We're stretching them off the court. And let's talk about what the problem this is. It's a better strategy, but the problem is that now you've pulled the ball on the outside of the court. Your partner needs to shift, and although it's more difficult for the lobber to hit a lob on the run, they're not going to have all that many problems with it. All right, it's more difficult than say backing off the ball. But from here, what ends up happening, they get their feet set, they're able to punch a volley, and it doesn't even have to be all that great because against a righty, they've located the backhand. And high backhands are really, really tough, okay? And if they clear, then it's even more problems because now there's a switch that's involved that's going to create chaos, and this team will get position. All right, but so let's talk about what the upgrade is on the stretch. Okay, so the upgrade that we're going to talk about is a short angle shape. All right, now this is what's important to remember with the short angle shape. You need to get the ball on the outside of the court. All right, so if the ball is located somewhere around here, you're not going to be able to get the ball here off the court. You might be able to do some slice, but you're not going to be able to get the ball moving off the court. You need the ball to be moving on the outside of the court. Okay, so here you're hitting the ball and you're focused on hitting a short angle shape that works off the court. So why is this advantageous? All right, because it gets the opponent moving forward to retrieve this ball. All right, and from here, it's going to be really, really tough to lob. It's hard to hit a lob when you're moving forward, especially a topspin lob. Could they use slice? Yeah, they could probably punch it up. But this is definitely going to be an upgrade in this situation. But if they have a decent forehand and they're cutting off the angle, this becomes tough because they have to shift and cover the line. And now you're moving and you've got to cover the middle and the wide angle. So although of the three that we've discussed, this is the best one so far, it's still not the best. Let's talk about what the best option is against the lobber. Let me clean this board up. All right, so the best option against the lobber, and you pickleballers, man, you're going to eat this up. It is playing inside the kitchen, right? So in pickleball, you have the kitchen. And what we're going to focus on here is playing a short angle chip. All right, balls are going to locate somewhere in here. And this is being played with backspin. So why is this such a good play? The ball stays really low, making it tough for the lobber to get the ball up. We just discussed how it's tough to hit a lob if you're moving forward, right? So we've got a combo here. So now the player's moving in, they're trying to lob this way. Doesn't mean that they can't lob, it just means it makes it really tough to lob. They've got to have soft hands, and let's face it, a lot of lobbers have a difficult time with volleys, so it doesn't make this shot any easier, and they don't want to be at the net, right? So we'll get some extra stress. So what this means now, as these two players move in, they get to cut off a ball that's being lifted, right? We call this play the dink 'em and dunk 'em, all right? So that's the dink. So what happens when the lobber pops the ball up, right? So now we have a dunk, all right? To the middle of the court, to the opponent's feet, all right? No, we're not suggesting you hit anybody, stop it, all right? But so it becomes a really, really good play. Let me get the kitchen back up here because I think this is important to note. As this player moves up to lob, how far in do we want to close? And the answer is simple. We want to close in according to our height. Okay, so maybe this player's taller, they're going to squeeze a little bit, knowing, and especially if they see that this shot, the dink, is really, really good, they're going to close in and they're going to look to cut the ball off. All right. Whereas if this player is a little bit shorter, they're going to hover a little bit, right? Because if the lobber plays the ball on the outside of the court, that's fine. They're still winning the battle of position. A forehand through the middle will do the work. All right. But they don't want to take a chance of the lob flipping over their head. And it's always great to have a hover smother in this situation anyways. Okay. So that is the play that I'm advising. If you are playing lobbers, get out there, execute it. Especially on the return of serve. If you're playing somebody with a weak second serve, get out there, play that ball nice and short, move them up the dink, and then high volley overhead for the dunk. All right, so guys, I really hope you enjoyed the instruction. We're going to bring a whole lot more content to you very, very soon. But speaking of content, we have decided to open up the vault within the PlayYourCourt platform. And the vault is thousands and thousands of hours of videos, instruction that Scott and I have worked on. And typically it's reserved for the premium level membership, but we think it's just extremely, extremely important right now that we all have access to online resources. So for the entry-level price of $5.99, we're going to give you the keys to the vault as well, and that's a lifetime access. So definitely get in there, check it out, PlayYourCourt, www.PlayYourCourt.com. Check out the vault. If you enjoy this instruction, there's so much more like it, and I'll be back really soon with some more instruction. You guys take care, stay safe. I'll see you soon.